This is a setup. You planned this whole thing just to humiliate me. I plan to review all executives' performance. The numbers speak for themselves. I hate you, she screamed. You're doing this because you're jealous. She stormed out of the room, slamming the door behind her. My parents got up to follow her, but Dad turned back to glare at me. He deliberately shamed your sister in front of everyone. You wanted revenge. She got what she deserved, I said calmly. She embezzled company funds for personal use. That's called fraud. They left without another word. Over the next few weeks, I restructured the company completely. I brought in my own management team, updated our investment strategies, and made the company a branch of Downtown Capital Investment. Within 3 months, we were profitable again. My parents kept trying to contact me, text messages, phone calls, even letters. I ignored most of them, but finally agreed to meet them for coffee. They looked older than I remembered. Dad especially seemed worn down. We need to talk about the money, Dad said once we sat down. We gave half of what you paid us to Lauren. They thought it was only fair since she'd worked at the company all those years. Okay. But there's a problem. Lauren's husband has a gambling addiction. He lost most of their share paying off his debts. Lauren used a big chunk of what was left to cover more of his gambling losses. I sipped my coffee and said nothing. And I had some debts of my own, Dad continued. Business loans I'd taken out trying to keep the company afloat. I had to use most of the remaining money to pay those off. So, you're broke. We have some money left, Mom said quickly. But not enough to maintain our lifestyle. They can't keep the house. They'll have to move somewhere smaller. That sounds like a practical decision. Dad's face turned red. Is that all you have to say? We're your parents. And you fired me and called me stupid. You mocked my ideas and kicked me out of the family business. Now you want my help. They made mistakes, Mom said. We're sorry. If you're really struggling, sell the estate and buy a smaller house. Take whatever money you have left and I can help you invest it properly. Not give you money, help you invest what you have so you'll have income in retirement. Anne stood up. We don't need investment advice. We need actual help. And you're refusing to give it. I'm offering you exactly what I would offer any client. If that's not good enough, that's your choice. They left angry, and I didn't hear from them for months. Then one day, my lawyer called. Your parents have contacted us about investing $500,000 with your company. Set up a standard client account. Same terms as anyone else. Are you sure? They're your parents. Which is exactly why they get the same treatment as everyone else, no special favors. The investment account was opened, and I put their money into a conservative but solid portfolio. Over the following year, they made a 15% return, enough to live comfortably in retirement, but nothing extravagant. I found out through mutual acquaintances that Lauren had finally convinced her husband to go to rehab for his gambling addiction. They were in therapy, working on their marriage and their finances. She'd gotten a regular job at a marketing firm, not CEO, just a regular employee like I'd been. Part of me felt bad about how everything had turned out. But a bigger part of me knew that Lauren needed to learn what it was like to work for something instead of having it handed to her. As for my parents, they eventually sold their mansion and bought a nice but modest house in a retirement community. They seemed to adjust to their new lifestyle, though I'm sure it was hard for them at first. My mother called me one evening about 6 months after they'd invested with my company. Iris, I wanted to thank you for treating us fairly. Not for giving us special treatment, but for treating us the same way you'd treat anyone else. We didn't deserve even that much after how we treated you. You're welcome, Mom. I know we can never make up for firing you and choosing Lauren over you all those years, but I want you to know that I'm proud of what you've accomplished. You were right about everything, about taking risks, about cryptocurrency, about innovation. We should have listened to you. It was the closest thing to a real apology I'd ever gotten from either of my parents. I appreciate you saying that. Will you come visit us sometime? Not for business, just as family. I thought about it. Maybe. Let me check my schedule. That's all I can ask for. After we hung up, I sat in my office looking out at the city skyline. I'd built an empire from the ashes of my family's rejection. I'd proven everyone wrong who said I was stupid and reckless. But the victor felt different than I'd imagined. It would not triumphant, exactly, just complete. I got my revenge by succeeding beyond anyone's expectations. I bought my father's company and fired my sister. I'd made my family see that I was right all along. 2 years had passed since I'd bought my father's company. Downtown Capital Investment had grown even larger, and the branch that used to be Dad's firm was now one of our most profitable divisions. I'd completely overhauled their investment strategy, and we were seeing returns that my father had never dreamed possible. I was in my office reviewing quarterly reports when my assistant buzzed me. Your mother is here to see you. She doesn't have an appointment. I hesitated. My parents and I had maintained a polite but distant relationship. We talked on the phone maybe once a month, always brief conversations about safe topics like the weather or their investment returns. Send her in. Mom walked into my office looking nervous. She was dressed simply, nothing like the designer outfits she used to wear. Hi, Iris. Thank you for seeing me without notice. Is everything okay? Is Dad alright? He's fine. We're both fine, actually. Better than we've been in years, thanks to the returns on our investment. Good. So, what brings you here? She sat down across from my desk.